Over the weekend I managed to upgrade my Blood Flow Legendary Gem to rank 5, and today we're going to be testing this out in PvP Battleground. Let's go. As always, if you see yourself in this battle, please drop me a comment and say hi. And I know I met a couple of people yesterday in Battleground that are subscribed to my channel, so don't be a stranger, drop me a comment. So I wanted to share those clips at the start. GameZone actually suggested that I did this, and it just highlights the difference in the critical hit numbers with Blood Flow active versus Starfire active in this build. So that is the gem that I swapped out for Blood Flow. So I have several dots in this build, and I didn't want to remove any of my other gems because they're too powerful in my PvP setup. So I'm using Viper's Bite, which is the only 2-star gem in this setup. I didn't really want to remove that for Blood Flow because I wanted to keep the damage over time from that poison in Viper's Bite. And then the other gems that I'm using, I've got Blood-Soaked Jade, I've got Roiling Consequence, Colossus Engine, Wolf Yacht, Void Spark, Bottled Hope. And I didn't really want to remove any of those gems to make space for Blood Flow, so I thought that Starfire Shard was the best option to remove. Now there's a couple of things to note with this. When I removed Starfire, it's also removing 3 resonance bonuses, so I had the primary attack damage, the skill damage and the party damage increase bonuses from Starfire Shard because it was rank 8. So not only have I taken a huge drop in my resonance, I've also lost those resonance bonuses. So I've gone from like 5.4k reso down to 4.9 to 8, so not a huge difference. I'm just slightly under the 5k mark. Ideally I'll continue upgrading Blood Flow and will obviously gain some of that resonance back. Starfire, I'm not going to use gem power from it or extract gem power or anything. I do still use it in PvE builds. It does still work nicely in some of my other setups, so I don't want to extract power from that for now. I'm going to keep it active so that I can just swap it in and out as and when I want to in my builds. But Blood Flow in PvP, as you saw from those numbers at the start, it's definitely a stronger gem for this build especially. So the critical hits went from 6k figures with Blood Flow to not 6k, 6-digit figures with Blood Flow to 5-digit figures with Starfire Shard. So there's quite a difference there. So let's take a look at the gem at rank 5 and the benefits that we're getting from having this in my build. Blood Flow rank 5 increases resonance by 468 plus 110 combat rating. Your critical hits cause you to enter a blood rage for 6 seconds, increasing your damage done by 13% and your critical hit damage by 26%. While blood rage is active, your critical hits also rend flesh, causing enemies to bleed for additional 10% base damage every second for 3 seconds. Additionally, you gain 2% increased critical hit chance for each nearby bleeding enemy up to a maximum of 8. Blood Rage cannot trigger more often than once every 20 seconds, and Rend Flesh cannot trigger on the same enemy more than once every 1 second. So the weird resonance number on this is because I have 2 resonance gems slotted into this. I don't get any bonuses yet. But I wanted to work on the gems inside of Blood Flow as I normally do with all my 5-star gems so that I can eventually get that resonance bonus. Now, the one thing that I think is really good with this is that a Rend Flesh triggering once every 1 second. Now, that is major. That is obviously putting the bleed on the enemies. So with this setup, with how I've already got my build set up, I've got burn, bleed and poison. So it's a triple threat from the damage over time effects. And obviously, if you're using Blood Flow with a higher potency, you'll benefit from this even more. If you're using Blood Flow with critical hit gems like Mother's Lament, Roiling Consequence, both of them, you're going to get an even bigger benefit from that as well. So I have the Roiling Consequence in my build. I don't have Mother's Lament. I have it at rank 10 inside one of my other gems for the resonance bonuses. But there is a lot of potential with Blood Flow in PvP. I've mainly seen people talking about it in PvE. I will do tests for PvE as well, but I wanted to try it out in Battleground because looking at the gem description, I thought there would be quite a lot of potential with it, and I was proven right with that from the obviously seeing those critical hits with this gem active in the build at the start of the video. So I would say that this is definitely a really good gem, especially if you're using other damage over time effects. As I said, having that triple threat of a burn, bleed and poison on an enemy at the same time is absolutely awesome. And this could work nicely as well with the shock and the new shock set. I feel that that could trigger it quite nicely as well. So there's lots of potential with Blood Flow in PvP, and I definitely saw that from playing these matches. So these matches I did on Tuesday. I'm going to show you the results from all of them at the end. Both matches at the start were filmed yesterday as well. So I did the Starfire test in the evening, and I did the Blood Flow test in the morning. I wasn't originally going to compare the two, but as I said, Game Zone suggested that I did this so that you can actually see the difference in the numbers, and I was quite surprised at the difference. I always felt like my build was quite strong, and I always felt like Starfire was quite a good option because there are a few occasions, like I've mentioned in the past, that Starfire has triggered somewhere else on the map and taken down players that were maybe bandaging, maybe low on life, and because they're getting hit by Starfire, it has sometimes gotten that win for me. So I was a little bit apprehensive to remove it from my build, but it was definitely the right option. And you know, a lot of people might say, well, why didn't you remove Viper's Bite so that you had another 5-star gem in your build? I totally could have done that, but I really wanted that damage over time from Viper's Bite. And I do have Seeping Bile that I can use as well, so I could go for 2 poisons in this build. But Viper's Bite generally triggers more. It's a more consistent gem than Seeping Bile. Seeping Bile has quite a low trigger percentage on that. So that is why I've kept Viper's Bite in this build, and why I've added Blood Flow in place of Starfire Shard. And as I said, looking at the figures at the start, it was definitely the right decision to make. And you can see as well with the progress in the match, it's doing pretty good for me as well. So I'm quite happy with the results of Blood Flow. I'm really glad that I did actually manage to get this gem. So I'm using a 4 out of 5 quality Blood Flow at rank 5 against the original Starfire that I had, which was a 5 out of 5 quality Starfire with obviously resonance bonuses and at rank 8. Now obviously both gems do complete different things. They are nowhere near similar. So there's not much of a comparison there, but it was just interesting to see the difference that one gem can actually make to your build. And this is something that we've discussed before, something that a lot of the other creators discuss, is gem synergies and having the right ones in your setup. So overall, I'm really happy with the result of Blood Flow, and I definitely think there's more potential for this, especially when I continue to upgrade it. So I'm hoping that I'll get some more copies. Obviously, I'll keep you updated on the progress of upgrades, and hopefully we'll do well with that. So I managed to make MVP for the match, which I'm really happy with. Going to grab a screenshot of this. 12 kills, 5 deaths and 22 assists. And I'm going to share the other results from using Blood Flow in this setup as well. It was a little bit of a mixed bag. So this one you can see it was a pretty unbalanced match, but still MVP at the top there. A couple of badges, 5 deaths, 11 assists and 10 kills. This one I actually got compensation for because someone was AFK in the match. Same for this one. One of our highest resonance players was actually AFK, and it was a total mess of a match. So another match that got compensation. It's annoying because you get compensation, but your win rate just goes down. And that seems to be what happens at the moment for me. I either get a win or I get a defeat with compensation. So this was the next match. And these are just all the matches that I did in a row yesterday morning. I wanted to show you the results over from each one. So again, 21 kills, 6 deaths and 18 assists. And then this last one, this was a match with some higher resonance players, as you can probably tell. So 6 kills, 7 deaths, but still 26 assists. So he's got another badge there. So it's been really good the results overall from Blood Flow. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Let me know if you've been trying this, if you're interested in trying it, if you've used it in PvP or PvE. As I said, I can do a PvE test for this as well. Let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. But yeah, generally I think this works really nicely in this wizard spam build if you're definitely sorry, if you're using other dots in that setup. So that is it from me for this video. I hope you found this helpful. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Official Diablo Partner.